Coach, we are ready whenever you are.
Okay, Brad. So the guys that didn't practice today were Fenton with the back, getting better, and Daryl Williams with the toe. So we're trying to let it rest up, see if it calms down a little bit. Other than that, everybody practice. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Bills. They're a heck of a football team, very well coached. Sean does a great job with the team, and he's got great assistant coaches and great players. So it'll be a nice challenge for us. Love that we're playing at Arrowhead, and look forward to at least being packed with Kansas City Chiefs fans. So with that, time's yours.
Let's go first to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. In what ways, if at all, does a Week 5 matchup factor into a playoff matchup?
Yeah, well, they got after us. So I'm sure they'll change some things. And a little bit like what I said last week, they'll change some things and we'll change some things. And we've played them so many times here in the last couple of years that, you got to kind of mix it up a little bit. So, and I'm sure they feel the same way.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, along those lines, does familiarity maybe give you an opportunity to, because you've set a trend of what you do, does it maybe give you an opportunity to set somebody up easier, if that makes sense, that they have a book on you so you can work backwards against that easier?
Oh, listen, I don't know. I mean, that book would have two covers to it because they probably feel, they feel the same thing if that's the question. So I don't know about that. They'll know us though, and we'll know them, and we'll just go out and play football, I think, is what you'll see. Sarin,
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Andy, when you do look back at that Week 5 game, you also kind of realize to yourself, wow, we changed a lot as a team from that game too, just both offensively and then obviously with the defensive starters that were out in game Week 5, that's obviously changed too. So you guys look back at the film and appreciate how much you guys have changed since that date? Yeah,
well, listen, I think the neat part about this game that's coming up here is that both teams are relatively healthy, and at this time of the year, that's a great thing. I mean, it should lead to a heck of a game, and I know the guys that didn't play look forward to the challenge of playing. I mean, you love this kind of competition and these kind of games.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, I know you're presumably locking in on the defense here, but when you look at Allen and what he's been able to do, how have you seen him grown in a short career here?
Yeah, listen, he's playing good football. He's done a nice job. Watched him when he was at Wyoming. He was a heck of a player there, well coached, and moves into the National Football League, and every year he's gotten better. And I mean, what more can you ask from a quarterback than that, from a coaching standpoint?
Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. With everybody working in some capacity, how did Clyde Edwards and Lair look to you out there, and what's your optimism level for him, understanding it is early in the practice week?
Yeah, Herbie, I mean, he moved around well. We'll see tomorrow and how he back-to-backs these things. So, I mean, I don't want to say anything. I said it last week, and I was wrong. So we'll just see how he does as we go forward.
Let's go next to James Palmer. Go, James.
Hey, Andy, hope you're well. I'm curious about Tyreek's growth, in your opinion, this season, with him being asked to do some different things, probably play in space a little more than he has in the past. What have you seen him change as a receiver and grow this year more so than any other spot?
Yeah, well, listen, when he came here, he was raw. Had been a running back, so I mean, you can imagine that's a big change. And I mean, they flexed him out and did all that stuff, but that's kind of where he was. And every year he's gotten better, and now he's refining all of those wide receiver skills that he's learned here. And with his talent, he's a tough one to stop. I mean, he's a heck of a player. So normally people have ways of trying to double him, which is a compliment to him and his ability. But he's learned to work through it. He's better in space. He's more patient against man, setting things up. So my hat goes off to him. He's worked very hard at that.
Let's go next to Surin from the Nordic region. Go ahead, Surin.
Coach Reid, there's been a lot of talk about the Bills roster construction and how they're building this roster specifically to beating you guys. What kind of challenge does that leave for your team and for you as a coach?
Yeah, they've done a nice job. I'm close to Sean, and he's done a great job of building that, along with his general manager and the assistant coaches and their players. And we understand that indirectly as a compliment to our guys for putting themselves in that position to where teams are trying to get you. And they did a nice job with it the last time we played. Very well coached, and they played very well.
Last two, we'll go Todd Lebo and then Nate Taylor. Go Todd.
Coach, I know didn't know who you were playing yet, but when you go back and watch what Buffalo did Saturday night offensively, they say it's a quote unquote perfect game, right? No punts, no field goals, no turnovers. How hot are they as an offense right now compared to, when you try to study them all year long?
Yeah, well, I mean, you just kind of answered that. It's tough to have a perfect game, and they did a nice job with it. I mean, that's what it is. So we've got to get ourselves ready, and starting today and a little bit yesterday, and we've got tomorrow and the next day. So one thing I know is our guys will play hard, and and they're good. They're good. So
We'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, Andy. I have two questions for you. The first is, given how much things have changed in the first matchup, just how confident are you that your pass rush is a lot better now than it was then? Obviously, you didn't have Melvin. I think Frank was getting through the hamstring. Chris and obviously Jerry got better. Just what have you noticed from your pass rush that may give you more confidence in this game? And then Brad will have to follow up.
yeah, Nate. So listen, the guys have had a chance to play together now for a few weeks, and I think that's consistently, and I think that's good. They feel relatively healthy for this, for this time of the year, and that's a big challenge. They've got a good offensive line, so but I know the boys will be ready. They look forward to the challenge. They love that type of thing, so they'll be ready to roll.
And secondly, I wanted to ask you about the Bills safeties, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Just what have you noticed about them, maybe even in the first match, or just what you've seen over the last few weeks about how good they are as a safety tandem?
Yeah, I'd say, Nate, they're one of the better ones in the league. They're great communicators. They can get everybody lined up where they need to get them lined up. They can cover and they can tackle.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks, guys.